Welcome to the Why Dad Podcast. We are your hosts, Paul Wandry and Andrew Stolpestead, and we are on a mission to figure out what it really means to be a man, a husband, and a father. Not as experts, but just as guys trying to figure it out, learning what actually matters, what's just noise, and how to become the versions of ourselves our families need and deserve. Andrew, that took me to like a
What?
Southern Baptist church, like praise the Lord. Oh yeah. Anyway,
Jesus.
this is a place for honest conversations, real habits, and the kind of growth that happens intentionally. We are redefining fatherhood one habit at a time. And today
Mhm.
we are preach, preach, brother, preach.
Amen.
Man, almost got me snorting there. Well, today is a duosode. We're just going to hash it out, the two of us. Um,
Yes, we are.
and is it my topic this
I
week?
think so. It was like
Okay,
it was supposed to be mine last week, and then we didn't really have anything. But then we found something.
yeah. So I have a potential one. I just don't know. Maybe we've done it already,
Raise it.
or or maybe we just don't want to talk about it yet. But okay, so there's this guy on Instagram, and for some reason, I've seen a couple of his posts. He just started popping up, and let me see if I can find his handle. But anyway, I guess he's this like super fit, always walked around with his shirt off. Speaking of Southern preachers, a Southern traveling evangelist, or at least at some point was. And anyway, I just gleaned that from the comments. I didn't know that initially. But the reason why he popped up on my feed, well, his first post was having his like 4-year-old kid running suicides, and right now I have my kid running suicides because in this family, we recognize that you earn the treats and the rewards. So we'd play PlayStation once a week for 30 or 60 minutes. I don't know how long it was. But in order to do that, like you have to earn it, and to earn it, you have to run suicides. And then so he was like recording while his kid was suffering in the background, and I've got nothing against, grinding it out,
Right.
and putting in the work, and also like he's way fit and I'm not necessarily, or
Mm-hmm.
not as externally fit. He could probably whip my ass. No, for sure he could whip my ass. Whether that's hand to hand or running or whatever. So like, from my soapbox here, my cushy soapbox. And then his second clip was him and his son just on the sofa, and he was just recording. And he was basically, and this is the one that got me. Like the first one, I was like, all right, I'm not going to die on that hill. But the second one, it kind of got me because he said like, my 4-year-old or 5-year-old, however old he is, he's like, he behaves perfectly 99% of the time. And that's because I've been training him since he was 2. Um, and the way he was training him is like, and he kept calling them like with like little pops or whoop, like little slaps or whatever. But basically and I guess I'm inferring. Maybe they were just little like light little taps. But like the way I received it, and like granted I am biased against corporal like physical punishment, but it's like he's spanking his kid, Um,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe they were just like light little taps or whatever. I don't know. And I guess this is something I should ask him. But basically, he's like, yeah, I've been like spanking my kid since 2. Whenever he did something he wasn't supposed to, or and one of his examples, and we've talked about this, is like, if he's throwing a tantrum, I smack his bottom. And okay,
Mhm.
and that's a whole other thing is like because you're not helping your kid learn emotional regulation, right? And then this is the statement, and maybe I should have led with this that really got me. He's like, "It's no different than training a dog," is what he said. In one of his comments. And I was like, Really? Really? Like, it's no different from training a dog, like a dog who who really all you care about is that they do exactly the behavior that you want them to do and nothing else. You don't want them to think for themselves. You don't want them to um like take innovation or whatever. Like you want them to be like constantly aware of where you are and what you need in any given moment. And to get them to do that, like you need a strict set of like boundaries and repercussions and rewards, And it's completely behavioral based. And anyway, I'll shut up. But in some, I was like, I don't know, it didn't sit well with me because it's like, our kids aren't like just creatures that need to be bent to our will. Like we need to meet them where they're at. And like one big disclaimer is if you like Andrew or you listener haven't already picked up on this, like this is a big insecurity of mine. Is like because we were raised that way. We were raised to like respond to commands as docilely as a dog. And we
Mhm.
were raised, and if we didn't, we were met with strict punishments that didn't always necessarily meet or fit the crime. So, and it is an insecurity of mine because I am trying to not take the same path. And as has come up in past episodes, I recognize maybe I have overcorrected a little and I'm trying to find the right balance.
Mhm.
So, the disclaimer is like, maybe it's that side that's kinda, like, rearing its head, and I'm like, "I don't wanna hear anything this guy has to say," but I do see the value of having solid boundaries, and I also wanna give this guy the benefit of the doubt because he and I haven't had a conversation and reels and whatever can be misconstrued, and maybe I'm doing that. But anyway, I'll shut up. Andrew, what do you think? What
First one's fine by me. No qualms there. Like, okay, he's just using physical fitness as a way to earn it rather than other chores. If that's what works for the kid, then cool. Sleep. Yeah, no issues there. I might even have some. Go ahead.
So, I guess it comes down to, are you doing it for the sake of doing it or
Well, that's what I was gonna lead with. Like, okay, maybe that's what works for the current situation with the kid. Like, I honestly want to do some of that myself if it fits. Getting the kids active rather than vegging out. It's like, oh, you want to do that, and let's say they have all their good habit. Okay, there has to be like a set exercise regimen or something like that. Then you can. It all depends on the exact where the kid's at. So if the kid's in
Mhm.
a good spot with that and responds to it, then fine. Second one, I was okay with it till the dog comment. And while it's not necessarily a false statement for a child of that age, it's not the correct statement at the same time. And
So
it
how is it not
sits with me wrongly as well. So, in
Yeah.
those formative years, like a lot of it is like you can leave it on mute. That's fine. I can barely hear him. So that way you don't have to hit pause when you wanna interject either or unmute when you wanna interject. Because a lot of the way there are some similarities, it's not equal to, as he put it, but then it gets to a point where a kid does start thinking for himself. So he can't that's why, like, the kid has the potential of rationality, and thus saying it's no different from training it like a dog. It's like, while there's similarities, that's not at that age range, like, that's not true because, like you said, um, you're forcing the kid to respond to stimuli rather than building its rationality.
Yeah. And I'm still trying to find his profile, but I can't. Yeah, I mean, you bring up a good point that it depends on there. I mean, there are some factors that need to be considered, like and age being one of them.
This also
So I
gets
guess
into, like,
there's
weird territories too, because it's like, okay, all these pro athletes were just like our buddy Francois, like, he could ice skate before he could walk, you know?
right.
So it's like if you wanna be you're already, like, forcing quote, unquote, "forcing" a passion onto them, but, I mean, you see Francois, and he loves hockey, and he lives and breathes hockey, but, if you don't start also at that with the parent, like, taking that and waiting, and you're already, like, fit or, like, a pro athlete, and you wanna cont and it's a weird area, Like, okay, it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, continue the legacy." Well, you gotta start when they're, like, really little for them to be competitive in today's athletics, and so
Yeah, which
using
brings
that
up the whole point of like, should you even start them or like, is this a but no, no, no. That's a whole other.
yeah,
Let's not go
that's
down
why I
that.
said that it opens up a whole different thing. But,
Yeah.
getting back to the point, like, there's a time and a place, like, some kids, any other form of discipline or working for it, they just don't respond to it. So,
Yeah. So
I mean
yeah, I guess there's two big questions here. One is physical punishment okay? And two um is an unrelated either how would you put it? Because if it's after the fact as a consequence, so like an unrelated consequence, right? Like um you know, you like you lie, okay, and so now you're like, for example, you're getting a spanking
mhm,
or you're getting grounded if we don't want to go down the physical punishment route. Um like that is arbitrary and unrelated to the direct offense. So there's consequences. And then on the flip side, unrelated, I don't know, like requirements, I guess. So like doing these suicides, like it wasn't like, okay, we prioritize fitness in our family
mhm.
and therefore we make sure that before we go and rest or relax, like we have done our fitness commitments. It's like no, like if we want any sort of enjoyment, if we want any sort of relaxation, and granted I'm putting words in his mouth, it's specifically he didn't say any sort of relaxation, but like if we want to be able to play video games, like we have to do physical exertion, like so kind of unrelated. And it's just like, oh, okay, so you have to like, so what are you what are you teaching your kid if you do that? Like what are you intending to teach, but what is the lesson that they're getting? Like I have to make sure I do hard things before I can enjoy anything. Like what, I have to earn my rest, or I don't know. It just seems kind of backwards for me, you know? What?
Sure, but at the same time, it's also the reality of life. If you want a good, you have to work for it. If I wanna do something, I have to work at my job to make money to do it.
Yeah, but that's for a directly related consequence. Like you're not going to get money unless you do your job. Like you're not going to get money unless you go and put in the work, specific work that people see value
So,
in.
not necessarily, but I'll let you have that point.
Eh, yeah, because the only way you can dissect that um um
Yeah, that's why I said I'll let you have that.
there is nothing for you to let me have. That was a valid point. So yes, life is hard. And in
Yeah,
order
I don't see there should be s some work to gain things, and, like, I don't know, like, in a strictly just the principle of it, like, it makes sense to me. It does.
so
Because you're teaching them if you want something, it's not given to you for free, like, because that's entitlement. Like, I had like, okay, let's just take everything else out of it, but it's like, okay, you wanted to play video games, like, because we have it have a video game machine, does that entitle him to play whenever he wants? Or, like, is all you let's take just chores, like, the house is a mess, but he wants to play video games, like, okay, you have responsibilities to accomplish.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's actually an interesting example because, like, the house was a mess. Because honestly, our house is often a mess.
Well, you have little
And
kids, so why wouldn't it be?
well, exactly. So if we were to make the requirement that the house has to be like clean before we do anything enjoyable, we would never do anything enjoyable. Or however, we are trying to change that, but it is a work in progress.
Mhm,
And right now, all we're doing because like right now it's like our goal, yes, long term is to have our house clean and consistently tidy. And, at any given point, what, like 20 to 40 minutes out from being guest ready. But right now, we're nowhere near close to that. So
mhm,
what do we have to do? It's kind of like the same as building a habit of going to the gym. Like we're starting super small. We're s-
mhm.
we're starting with we're calling it this will be a flashback for you, Andrew. We're calling it a blitz. um I didn't realize until after. I was like, "Oh, wait, we used to use that term in high
Yeah,
school." And,
all the time,
um,
especially on
but
movie nights.
yeah, um, but, like, we set after dinner, we set the timer for, like, the first night was 1 minute, and then now we're at, like, 2 to 3 minutes. That's it.
Mhm.
And then we go and we tidy up for 2 minutes, and then when the timer goes off, we stop. And Andrew, I kid you not, I know we're off topic here, but I kid you not, we started that on Sunday. And
Mhm.
our main floor, it's nowhere near perfect, but, like, the main areas are night and day compared to what they were a week ago, and that's just 2 to 3 minutes a night.
Mhm.
The point being, what is being taught? Is it like, "Oh, you have to have the house clean before you do anything?" Or is it like you have to fulfill your commitments
We should ask him
before?
what's being taught, because depending on how you wanna look at the situation, you're only gonna look at what you wanna see, or, or what you're not used to, like, that's how
You're
we
saying
were in this.
ask this
Yeah,
influencer?
yeah,
Yeah, no, I
because,
agree,
like,
I
because
agree.
that's what this is what makes sense to me, because that's how, like, there was always a lot going on when we were growing up, so, both parents working, I was home alone a lot, and so, if we wanted to do something on the weekend with friends, like, we had to make sure we got all our responsibilities accomplished, because otherwise nothing would get done,
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
so.
and I will concede that it could very well be just, like, how it was conveyed,
Mhm.
and, in a short little reel, you're not going to share unless you're me, you're not going and you talk for eons, you're not gonna share, like, your life philosophy and every
Mhm.
nitty-gritty element, like, um so there are a lot of those pieces of the puzzle that aren't clear or apparent. So I'll concede that, like, I don't have the full picture and, we're not talking to him. Um,
Like, if he's
ma
forcing his kids to, like, that's the only thing they do, or, like, forcing, which, eh, because the kid could say, like, "Yeah, maybe I don't wanna play video games that bad because I don't wanna run suicides," you know?
yeah. But I mean, here's what it was. The reel made it seem like it was an arbitrary thing, like, you just have to go do something hard, period, and I pick what it is, like, I, as the father, tell you, the child, what's the hard thing you have to do, which, maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it's like, "Hey, you just gotta do something hard, and, what do you like, here's some options," or whatever, I don't know. Um, or maybe it's the other thing where, as a family, they value fitness, which, it's very clearly, at least the dad does.
Mhm.
And like, honestly, we don't do something dissimilar at home because at like Evie's responsibility, like right now, she has one responsibility, and that's to feed the pups
Right.
in the
Yeah, we've
morning
we've
and in
brought
the
that
evening.
we've slightly touched on, like, the way you view that in our responsibility episode, it's more how do you help the family, if I'm not mistaken, correct? Or is that, like, the approach?
Right. Yeah. Like, yeah, we don't call them chores or whatever. But like the fact is, when she comes home, she doesn't get her screen time until she, puts away her shoes and feed the
Mhm.
pups and like, so yeah. Like, but that's the distinction for me, is like, if it's a commitment as opposed to just like an arbitrary, like, I'm going to tell you to do something hard to earn this.
I get that. Yeah. I understand where you're coming from,
But you don't
and
agree.
no, because I don't it didn't come across to me the way you explained it as that. I was just like, "That's kinda like what I used to do," and I actually didn't mind it at all. Now you can draw real world parallels, but that's just the way my mind thinks.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
the
mean, I
dad yet,
think.
you are, so you gotta think about all these things. I just get to be an
Well, let
idealist.
me ask you this: like, do you ever sit down and just like, oh, like, I'm going to make myself do something hard, like unrelated to any of my goals, before you do something
Well, how do we
rewarding?
know it's unrelated how do we know it's unrelated to goals
Well, how
without
many
asking
kids
him?
is it? What? I mean, that's fair. I think the important thing is um that it needs to come down to how it comes across,
Mhm.
and is it I don't think it should be an arbitrary, like, I'm just gonna tell you the hard thing to do, because then it's just another version of training your kid like a dog, where you're bending them to your will.
Yeah, maybe sprinkle it in there because there's sometimes as adults, it really feels that way. So use it
Fe
sparingly.
Feels what way?
Arbitrary.
Give me an example.
Me working night shifts the next month.
You don't think that I mean, there's a technical, like, business justification, right?
There doesn't have to be.
Yeah. But the relationship that you have with, like, we're not aspiring to be like, honestly, your management is not anybody that I would tell parents to take, notes on. No, take notes on how your management does it and don't do that. Like, yes, there are times where it feels arbitrary, and I would say that supports the argument because, like, it doesn't have to be, like you said.
Mhm.
And and
But
it's
those
not.
those are gonna happen, so that's why I say, like, sure, don't use it as your main approach or because you're right. But maybe there's gonna be some times, especially when they get older, like, you challenge them to something, and if the kid feels it's arbitrary,
So, I
as an
yeah, sorry.
adult, maybe we should have a better goal, but as a kid, a lot of it's not gonna make sense, especially when you're get your teenage angst years. You could think about all the stuff we went through in high school. A lot of that seemed arbitrary.
Well, yeah, and
Um
again, not to be used as a model, you
Yeah,
know?
um,
Um,
but that's what I'm like, no, I agree, like, you just can't pull out of your butt something to do because it's hard. Like, there's gotta be a purpose. Everything's gotta have a purpose.
yeah. So
Like, if you were to tell Evie, "Just go start running around the block nonstop till I say stop," and she were to ask you, like, "What's the purpose of this?" And you'd be like, "I don't know, something hard to do." Like, it's a waste of her time, it's a waste of your time.
yeah,
What good is being accomplished? None.
and she's not gonna do it. She's gonna so here's I mean, it brings up an interesting thing, because life is hard,
Mhm,
and to be able to take on the hard things it does prepare you for
mhm,
one argument, or one perspective says, like, life will send you enough hard things. You don't need to fabricate like hard things to rather just help your kids navigate the hard things as they come.
mhm,
Um and then but then on the flip side, and I don't know if this is a good example, like, you have, like, boot camp and um those training sessions where like they're like what's the word, holding rafts over their heads in choppy waves for like hours and running around with logs over their heads and just exerting themselves, like um physically to prepare themselves to be, Navy SEALs um or like the Green Beret,
Uh-huh.
or whatever it may be. Like some of those challenges seem arbitrary, right, in the moment if you look at it. But like they have to do those things to prepare themselves mentally and physically to
Right.
be the best of the best.
So that way you're not thinking in high stress situations and you can rely on basically motor habits to get through. Yeah, exactly. And a lot of people, like the first couple weeks, it's just, like, I hate this. It's so tough. And then they end up becoming like most effective government asset. Uh, I say that because, I mean, when you join the military and your dad, my brother, spent your brother-in-law could all brothers-in-law, I should say, since both of them would all kind of see that, it's like you become you, you are essentially government property. You're given a government serial number, and so they want to make sure that you function in accordance of what they want.
Well, yeah, and actually that's a really good point because like yeah, you become a weapon.
Hmm.
But you also probably aren't the most emotionally regulated or mentally healthy
Oh,
individual.
absolutely not. Like in that scenario, like you'll be fine. You ask my brother now or my uncles, your brothers-in-law, like, what was the transition back to civilian life? And it's like weird, odd. For you and me, transitioning out of seminary life, it was hard,
Mhm.
weird, like trying to be a normal person. Nah,
Yeah.
because we were so trained to function in a certain way. Um, so yeah, we went a little off the topic there, but like even
Uh-huh.
there's still a purpose.
And
And
yeah, like that's I mean, honestly, that kinda I think helps. This might be kinda what sums it up is like, okay, great. Like, what is the
mhm,
purpose? Like, are you training your kid to be able to do hard things, for the sake of doing hard things, or to be able to, do exactly what you say when you say it? How like
mhm,
or are you teaching them, or is the purpose to teach them to be resilient and to think for themselves?
mhm.
And um,
Who knows? Maybe he's in this kid's case, like, what, he's 4 or 5 years old, and he was already obsessed with, let's say, baseball or something, so, like, his dad was like, "It's if you wanna be a pro athlete, it's gonna be a lot of work, and you're
yeah,
gonna have to earn and put in the work for that."
yeah, yeah,
So
yep. I don't know if we came to any really, really good conclusions here. Um,
well, just don't do things for the sake of
yeah,
doing arbitrary things, like,
yeah, yeah, like,
hold on, they got in, like, super angry barking mode, so I had to see what that
oof,
was about.
all ears still attached to bodies,
Oh,
hopefully.
yeah. Kids got home from the lake, I think.
Mm, oh,
So they were happy, and then when Layla starts to bark a lot or doesn't like that, and he thinks it's his job to correct her, and then they start barking at each other. Oh my god.
that's our dogs on a walk because Archer actually he'll just whine and
Mhm,
like because he wants to go say hi or whatever. But he won't pull or bark. But then Sadie will bark. So if I'm walking both of them, which I do rarely now because it's a pain. Um, they walk great individually, but
mhm.
speaking of training dogs, and
Right?
maybe this is a sore spot because I didn't train my dogs very well.
Well, we have doodles, so that's the other
Yeah,
problem.
but anyway, they both walk pretty well individually, but
Mhm,
walking together, Sadie is the barky one. She will bark at other dogs or people riding on bikes, or Mexicans. And um no, seriously, she's
I
racist.
know. I've watched her many a time.
Like I don't understand it, but and do not condone it. But She's racist. Anyway, if she starts barking, Archer will like start attacking her and
Yeah.
and then eventually he starts humping her too. It's the only circumstances that he'll do this. Um, but anyway, yeah, he feels like it's his responsibility to correct her.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think there's two takeaways for me. One is, or maybe three. One is this is a challenge to me to reflect on the boundaries that I have for Evie and Liam, even,
Mhm.
as he's getting closer to two. And, you know, are they well established? Are they justified? And do I hold them consistently?
Mhm.
The other is, this is just another example of, yeah, a post, a comment, whatever. I could give it the worst interpretation, and I was tended to give it the worst interpretation, but maybe that's not what they meant. And I didn't ask
Mhm.
them and I didn't take the time to converse with them. And okay, yeah, based off of some of the comments and their responses, what you can kind of glean some stuff, but
Right.
I don't know the full story, and I haven't had a conversation with him. So it's like that's like don't jump to conclusions. And, maybe it's worth asking about some of these things. And honestly, maybe it's a good thing because if it's a perspective different from mine, maybe I'll learn something.
Right.
And my last takeaway isn't necessarily new, but it's what we just said, what we just reiterated, that it's like, like, why are you doing it? Are you just
Right.
pulling it out of your ass? And can you justify it to your kid? Can you explain to them why? If they ask why,
Mhm.
and not just like, oh, you'll understand one day.
Right. No,
No,
like an actual, like,
like
the
tell
here's
them,
a
like,
yeah.
and even maybe they don't understand it, but like, okay, hey, um, I think of an example. Yeah, I mean, yeah, to beat
Yeah.
a dead horse with the example of Evie feeding the pups, like, why do I have to feed the pups? I was like, well, this is you, like, one, this is the like everybody who is capable, we all do something for this family
Mhm.
because we are a family and we help support it, and this is your opportunity to do that.
Mhm.
And you chose, like, you were given options and you chose feeding the dogs, and it is
Mhm.
your commitment. And we can revisit that at some point, but for now, like, this is your commitment and this is what you are doing to support the family. B
Right.
Mom and dad, we go to work and we put food on the table and we take care of the yard and the house.
Mhm.
And we all work together to keep it clean,
Mhm.
more or less. But like, that's a justification. It's not because I said so or because, um, like, I don't know, some dumb shit like that I just pull out of my ass.
'Cause I
But
don't
anyway,
wanna do it.
yeah. It's like, "Well, you want the dogs to starve, huh?" It's like that it's like, no, it's like, they're not gonna starve. 1, Archery finds food everywhere, and 2, if Abby doesn't feed them, we
So
will.
well right, because their
B
incessant begging for food is gonna drive you crazy.
Yeah, or Liam will. Sorry. So, anyway, those are my takeaways. Yeah, you have anything to add, Andrew, or
No, those are good takeaways. Like I said, I have the luxury of being an idealist, so I can say one thing till the reality of becoming a dad hits me, and then I'll come around and be like, "Paul was right." But to your point, it's one thing when someone says something that's just blatantly wrong, like his second point about it's the same as training a dog. Like, bro, it's not. Like, it shows how little you understand about humanity. But like the other points, yeah, like you said, if it's a topic or something that in your case it's different, but a perspective because of past experiences. Um, but if there's a perspective that you haven't really thought about, like, oh, I want to learn more about that to see if that actually aligns with like, go for it. Like, that's how solid knowledge is gained, even friendships are made. I mean, if you and I agreed on every single thing, Paul, would we be doing this show? Would we be as good as friends? But the fact that we challenge each other to think about our own perspective while seeing the other person's vision.
Well, honestly, we wouldn't have had anything to talk about today because
Right.
you would have just like smiled and nodded. But no, you helped me see kind of some of the gaps in my thinking, or like some of the gaps in the information available, even. Um,
But
and then
that's
also,
what I mean, like, I'm removed from it as not being a dad, so I have the luxury of like, I haven't built up my parenting toolbox to this is what works, this is what doesn't, and I can still be like, "Ooh, shiny new tool, let's put that in there for later."
you know what we need to do
What?
is get like a long term set up a long term gambling system or something. Um, hmm, Sarah's cooking, baking bacon for BLTs. That smells so good.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
Why can't I be in
We're
Lakeville
gonna have to wrap
tonight?
this up here. Come on down. Um, but anyway, so parents with different parenting styles, they like they register for this, right?
Mhm.
And so, for example, me and this traveling evangelist who whoops his kid and sends him on suicides, and then us who, you know, I s- I s- oh, I s- I don't think we gentle parent in the sense of like what people think gentle parenting is. We've had that whole episode about it, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
But we are far less rigid and like traditional disciplinarians
Mhm.
than this guy in the example
Right.
would be. And the long-term bet would be my kid will turn out more prepared for life with less mental and emotional issues than yours. And then, 20, 30, 40 years down the road, we'll have to check in and
And they're married and have kids.
yeah, and see how they're doing.
Oh,
How
I
you
mean to
measure
each
that, I
other.
don't know. Was that?
I said, "Oh, I meant to each other."
Oh, to each Oh, what? Can you imagine? Hmm. Well, anyway, I gotta go eat me some BLTs.
Go get it.
Thank you, Andrew,
Thank you,
for
Paul.
helping me think and chat through some of that stuff, and thank you to the listeners. Um, if you've listened this long, you must have gotten something out of it. Let us
I
know
hope so.
what you think on the matter, like,
This is one that I always wanna hear about, but no one ever says anything.
hmm?
This is the type of stuff I wanna hear about, but no one ever says anything.
Yeah, so say something. Let us know.
Yeah,
What side of the fence do you land on? Are you pro suicides and or whooping? Or
right?
do you take a different approach? Or are
Mhm.
you a hybrid? And that's the thing is I feel like so often it's that middle road approach.
Yeah.
So, anyway,
Alrighty.
till next time. Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you, Paul.
All right, toodles.
Toodles poodles.